this is DD India and you're watching Express News, a program where we bring you top 100 news of the day. I'm Tanvi Taneja. Let's begin. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi addressed the lower house of Parliament, Lok Sabha, on Tuesday. The second leg of the budget session is underway in the Parliament. Prime Minister Narendra Modi noted that the success of the Mahakumbh Mela held in the North Indian city of Prayagraj shows that the spirit of unity is deeply rooted within Indians. Replying to a discussion on demands for grants under the control of the Ministry of Railways for 2025-26, Minister Ashwini Vaishnav highlighted the advancements made to the Indian Railways and thanked the Prime Minister for the allocation of the Railways budget to do so. The second day of the 10th edition of the Raisina Dialogue began on Tuesday with a session titled Thrones and Thorns, Defending the Integrity of Nations. India's Minister of External Affairs, Dr. S. Jaishankar, stressed the importance of sovereignty and territorial integrity on day 2 of the Raisina Dialogue in New Delhi, calling it a vital principle and a bedrock of global rules. Dr. S. Jaishankar underlined the need for a strong as well as a fair United Nations, adding that a strong global order must have some basic consistency of standards. On the sidelines of the Raisina Dialogue 2025, India's External Affairs Minister Dr. Jaishankar held a meeting with his Hungarian counterpart Peter Szijjártó. Indian Minister Kirtivartan Singh delivered the keynote address at the 10th Raisina Dialogue on Towards a Green Future for Sustainable Development, India's Climate Initiatives for Environmental Cooperation. The minister highlighted India's leadership in tackling climate challenges through key initiatives such as the International Solar Alliance and One Sun, One World, One Grid, among others. Visiting United States Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard delivered the keynote address at the ongoing Raisina Dialogue 2025 in New Delhi. Gabbard, in her address at the Raisina Dialogue, emphasized that America first does not mean America alone. Director Gabbard also emphasized the enduring strength of the US-India partnership, noting that it has stood the test of time for decades. Addressing the Raisina Dialogue in New Delhi, Ukraine's Minister of Foreign Affairs, Andrei Sybiha, said that the war is not in anyone's interest and it must stop. Ukrainian Foreign Minister Andrei Sybiha met India's External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar in New Delhi on Tuesday. New Zealand Prime Minister Christopher Luxon, who is in New Delhi, visited the BAP's Swaminarayan Akshardham Temple on Tuesday. New Zealand Prime Minister Luxon met Indian Minister and BJP National President JP Nadda in New Delhi on Tuesday. India's Defence Minister met his counterpart from the Netherlands, Ruben Berkelmans, in New Delhi on Tuesday and reviewed the full range of India-Netherlands defence cooperation. India's Director General of Defence Intelligence Agency, Lieutenant General D.S. Rana, is set to embark on an official visit to Australia from 19th to 21st of March. Delhi High Court adjourned hearing the plea of Baramulla MP Engineer Rashid for custody parole to attend the ongoing budget session of Parliament till 25th of March. Department of Pension and Pensioners Welfare is conducting an awareness program in Rajasthan on Tuesday under chairmanship of Secretary V. Srinivas. On to the business news now. The Indian benchmark equity indices, BSE Sensex and NSE Nifty, ended on a strong note on Tuesday amid firm global cues. At close, the Sensex was up 1,131 points to close at 75,301, and the Nifty added 325 points to settle at 22,834. All the sectoral indices ended in the green, with auto, capital goods, consumer durables, metal, power, realty, media index up between 2 to 3%. Indian rupee ended 23 paise higher at 86 rupees 56 paise against the US dollar on Tuesday, against Monday's close of 86.79 rupees. Asian stocks rose for a consecutive third day, buoyed by advances in Japan and Hong Kong in an extension of a recent shift towards non-US assets amid uncertainties unleashed by Donald Trump. So, MSCI's broadest index of Asia-Pacific stocks rose 1%, with markets in Seoul, Sydney and Taipei also higher. Overnight on the Wall Street, stocks stabilized, but the mood remained fragile leading into April, when Trump's threatened reciprocal tariffs are set to take effect. Gold gained ground, hovering around the $3,000 level that it breached for the first time last week, as investors focused on this week's rate decision from the US Federal Reserve. The US dollar steadied above a 5-month, though against major peers on Tuesday. It rose against a 5-month trough against major peers on Tuesday amid concerns about the impact of intensifying global trade tensions. Oil prices rose slightly on Tuesday, triggered by instability in West Asia. Brent futures ticked up 17 cents to stand at $71.24 a barrel. On to international news now. US President Donald Trump is set to hold talks with his Russian counterpart Vladimir Putin over a phone call on Tuesday to talk about Ukraine and bilateral ties. Aimed at ending the long-standing conflict, Donald Trump said that many elements of a peace agreement in Ukraine have been agreed upon. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt told a regular briefing on Monday that Trump and Putin would discuss a power plant on the border of Russia and Ukraine. Ahead of Putin-Trump talks, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said that Putin is the one who is prolonging the conflict. Israel's military said it conducted strikes on Hamas targets in the Palestinian enclave as explosions were heard over Gaza City in the early hours of Tuesday. Israel stated that the recent strikes on Gaza are a response to Hamas's repeated refusal to release hostages as well as rejection of all ceasefire proposals. Hamas on Tuesday confirmed that the head of its government in the Gaza Strip, Imam al-Dalis, was among the officials killed in the Israeli strikes on the Palestinian territory. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's office on Tuesday stated that Netanyahu instructed the military to take strong action following the group's refusal to release hostages and its rejection of ceasefire proposals. British Prime Minister Keir Starmer met with visiting Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney on Monday as both leaders looked forward to strengthening ties. On imposition of tariffs by the United States, Carney said that Donald Trump must stop comments before bilateral talks can start. U.S. Defense Department spokesperson Sean Parnell said that the U.S. military will carry out unrelenting strikes against Yemen's Iran-backed Houthi rebels until achieving its objective. US President Donald Trump visited the John F. Kennedy Center for the Performing Arts on Monday, marking his first trip to the venue since appointing himself chairman. The European Union led the way as donors on Monday pledged €5.8 billion in aid for Syria at a conference in Brussels. NASA astronauts Sunita Williams, Butch Wilmore, Nick Hague and Roscosmos cosmonaut Alexander Gorbanov have started their journey back to Earth aboard the SpaceX Dragon spacecraft. German Chancellor in waiting Friedrich Merz said on Tuesday that his proposed significant increase in defense spending was necessary due to Russian President Vladimir Putin's war of aggression against Europe. A footage released by Taiwan's defense forces on Monday showed the presence of Chinese military presence near its coast. Beijing claimed these drills will be a punishment for Taiwanese President Lai Ching-te's separatist stand. Activists held vigil and protested in The Hague, calling for former Philippines President Rodrigo Duterte to be held accountable as he faces trial at the International Criminal Court (ICC) for his war on drugs campaign that killed thousands of people. 7 people, including 2 minors, were killed and 6 others wounded in an armed attack outside a brewery in Guanajuato's Salamanca in Mexico. Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum announced she will sign a decree to strengthen the Commission for searching the missing people and send reforms to Congress, following the discovery of a mass grave in Tichultan, Jalisco. Peru declared a month-long state of emergency in capital Lima to allow for the deployment of soldiers to help police crack down after a wave of killings linked to extortion. We are heading for a short break here on DD India. We'll be back with Express News in just a bit. Stay tuned.
Complex issues, hidden agendas, twists and turns, strategic games. We think all dots are linked. We just need to connect them. Join me every week as I connect the dots to unravel hidden designs in statecraft, mysteries, and decode issues that matter to you. Watch Connecting the Dots with me at these times on DD India.
Welcome back. You're watching Express News on DD India. Let's resume. Families in Bolivia were forced to exhume and rebury their loved ones after a cemetery partially collapsed due to heavy rainfall. The incident occurred when torrential rains caused a section of the cemetery to collapse, exposing coffins and bodies. In response, families rushed to recover and relocate the remains of their deceased relatives. Residents of Ecuador expressed concern after oil spill in a river, afraid that the havoc will affect their health and crops. The spill caused by a damaged pipeline has heavily polluted the Vish River in the northwestern province of Esmeraldas. Oklahoma remains on high alert for fire danger following a devastating weekend of deadly blazes. The state, along with other parts of the plains, continues to face a significant fire threat. Over 40 million Americans are under alert for critical fire weather conditions over the next few days. Red flag warnings have been issued across the vast region. A prolonged winter drought has kicked off Nepal's wildfire season, with multiple fires reported across the country. The authorities are working to control the fires as it has caused significant damage. However, assessing the full extent of the damage is challenging as the fires are still not fully under control. The Indian Meteorological Department has issued heatwave alerts for several regions across India. IMD has issued orange alert for eastern state of Odisha as heatwave conditions will prevail over the state on 18th and 19th of March. IMD has also predicted similar heatwave conditions over North Interior Karnataka between 17th to 19th of March. World Rally Championship drivers Takamoto Katsuta, Josh McErlian and Adrian Formol went on a safari in Kenya days ahead of the third leg of the 2025 championship in the country. The trio met some orphaned young elephants and a small rhino before deciding to adopt them. Thousands gathered on the streets of Dublin to take part in the annual St. Patrick's Day Parade on Monday. Britain's Princess Kate Middleton attended the Irish Gods St. Patrick's Day Parade this year. Kate handed out traditional sprigs of shamrock and enjoyed a half-pint of the famous Guinness Stout. Thousands of parade goers participated in the annual St. Patrick's Day parade in New York. Marching bands, performers and politicians all walked the parade route to celebrate the Irish heritage along with members of the New York City Fire and Police departments. Tourists and locals admired peach and pear trees in full pink blossom in Spain's northern Catalonia. Thousands head for the fields every spring to see the breathtaking display of pink blossoms. 9-year-old Napat Knight Mitmakon is making waves in Thailand's centuries-old tattoo tradition. With hands clad in oversized surgical gloves, he expertly wields a tattoo gun. Knight's passion for art and tattooing began when his father introduced him to the craft. Together, they run a popular social media channel, The Tattoo Artist with Milk Teeth. An Australian man with severe heart failure became the first person in the world to survive over 100 days with a total artificial heart before receiving a donor heart. The Bivacor total artificial heart was invented by Australian scientist Dr. Daniel Timms. The total artificial heart was designed as a bridge to keep patients alive until a donor heart transplant is possible. And unconventional academic pubs are getting popularized in China's Beijing and Shanghai, where individuals gather in bars to attend lectures while enjoying drinks. LVMH label Loewe announced that creative director Jonathan Anderson was leaving the Spanish luxury house after 11 years in the role. The streets of Tehran were bustling on Monday as Iranians prepared for Nowruz celebrations. In the Iranian calendar, Nowruz marks the first day of spring and the vernal equinox. In a heartwarming gesture of community service during the holy month of Ramadan, volunteers from the NGO in Srinagar came together to prepare and distribute iftar meals among the people. On to entertainment news now. Hollywood star and musician Will Smith announced that he will be going on tour around the UK, Morocco and Europe. Drake's longtime label Universal Music Group sought a dismissal of his defamation lawsuit over its promotion of Kendrick Lamar's Grammy-winning single, Not Like Us. Conan O'Brien is set to host the Oscars once again in 2026. Marking his second time emceeing the prestigious ceremony. Comedian Nikki Glaser is set to make a triumphant return as host of the Golden Globes 2026 following her groundbreaking performance as the first solo female host this year. The 2025 iHeartRadio Music Awards in Los Angeles, California kicked off with a glamorous red carpet event featuring a lineup of music's A-listers. This year's top nominees include Morgan Wallen, Kendrick Lamar, Post Malone, Sabrina Carpenter, Chappell Roan, Billie Eilish and Tate McRae. Tate McRae. The show also awarded trailblazing artists Lady Gaga and rapper Nelly with special awards. Lady Gaga's 7th studio album Mayhem debuted at number 1 on the Billboard 200 albums chart. FX has greenlit a pilot for the crime drama series Snowball, and this is with Gail Bean and Isaiah John reprising their roles as Wanda and Leon in the upcoming installment. Disney Plus has officially renewed Percy Jackson and the Olympians for a third season, nearly a year ahead of the highly anticipated Season 2 premiere. Belgian actor Emily Dequenne died on Sunday, aged 43, from a rare cancer. In October 2023, Dequenne said that she had adrenocortical carcinoma, a rare cancer of the adrenal gland. And on to some sports news now. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi met with the Indian contingent that participated in the Special Olympics World Winter Games in Parliament. New Zealand defeated Pakistan by 5 wickets in the second match of the 5-match T20 International Series on Tuesday. With this, the Kiwis have taken a 2-0 lead. The deciding T20I game between New Zealand women and Sri Lanka women got washed out due to rain. The series leveled 1-1 after the second match. The Bangladesh cricket team is set to tour Pakistan for a white ball series in May, which will include 3 T20s and 3 ODIs. Rajasthan Royals skipper and wicketkeeper batter Sanju Samson joined his IPL team on Monday after undergoing finger surgery last month. England and Wales Cricket Board Chief Executive Richard Gould opposed the Global 2020 League idea by Saudi Arabia, citing not enough room in the calendar. Swiss Open 2025 featuring Indian badminton stars PV Sindhu, Lakshya Sen, Teresa Jolie and Gayatri Gopichand kicked off on Tuesday. Chess Grandmaster Magnus Carlsen has officially ruled out the possibility of a potential return to the World Chess Championship. Iga Swiatek issued a statement on social media following criticism for smashing a ball in resentment during her Indian Wells semi-final loss. Defending champions India beat Italy to kickstart their Kabaddi World Cup 2025 campaign in Wolverhampton on Monday. India's next match will be against Scotland at Wolverhampton on Tuesday in the Kabaddi World Cup. Lionel Messi has been ruled out of Argentina's squad for the 2026 World Cup qualifiers due to a muscle strain. Major League Baseball season will begin in Tokyo, Japan on Tuesday between the Los Angeles Dodgers and the Chicago Cubs. Japan's 6-time Olympic champion Akinori Nakayama has died at the age of 82. Local media reported stomach cancer as the cause of the death. The International Olympic Committee Executive Board on Monday recommended the inclusion of boxing in the Los Angeles 2028 Summer Olympics. So that's it in this edition of Express News. Do tell us how you liked our program on our social media handles at DD India Live. Thanks for watching. Namaskar.